Uh, and the project that we want to talk about today was conceived and executed during my tenure as the Managing Director of Siemens. I want to first make a point that why I have decided to come in and speak to all of you, despite the fact that over 2 years, the amount of personal and family harassment that we have had, and anybody who has even not got through it, I don't think anybody can imagine what this harassment means when the state comes after you and on charges which are completely baseless. And I'm going to talk about it today. But the more reason why I came out today is because, unfortunately, due to the recent developments regarding this case, my name is all over, and which is impacting as a professional. The only thing that we earn in life is our reputation. That's the only thing that we have earned in our life. And my reputation has been smothered. My family is going through the coals, been driven through the coals. More importantly, I'm seeing what's happening to the industry, because I have my industry friends who are calling up and saying, and why should anybody be doing such projects with anybody, with the government? Because if this is what the outcome of these things going to be. And last but not the least are the 213,000 students who are out over there, who have been trained, certified, doing jobs, and their certification is now being brought into question. It is not an individual versus individual. I could have taken the beating. My family could have taken the beating. But when I look at and when I see the amount of people who are contacting me on my personal media and asking for a statement, I thought it's important that I come out, and I've never done this before, so I would love to take your indulgence to listen me through and pose me your questions. I'm going to strictly talk about only the project, the role that Siemens played, the role that I played, and the successful implementation of this project. Let me give you a little background of this project. What's the reason of these projects? The reason of this project is twofold. One is industry downwards, the country downwards, state downwards, and there is a company upwards. What's the benefit for the company? Why would a company do such a project? Now, when Andhra Pradesh, for example, got bifurcated in 2014-15, the brief to us was that this part of the state has been primarily an agricultural state. When you're an agricultural state, unlike the other part of the state, where IT had by then got established in a big way, it was a primarily agricultural state. Now, when you say industrial infrastructure, it is not about building roads and building corridors and building industrial lands. It's also about building the people who are going to work in that industry. You can't have an industrial infrastructure without people being ready in this state. And for an agricultural infrastructure state, this is an impossible task of impossibility. And that is what the vision of the state government was, which was told to us, based on which we did a market research, we found out the gaps, we aligned with the state government's industrial policy, and the entire scope of the project was decided. Based on this decision of the scope of the project, this project was designed to not just address the high end of the engineering skills, but also the mid-range and the low end of the skills. In the parlance of industry, it is called the white collar, blue collar, gray collar, and rust collar workforce. And that's the reason why there are center of excellences, there are technical skill development institutes, and so on and so forth. Established over 40 locations. Initially it was 36, it was extended without any change of any additional payment. It was extended over 40 locations, where over 200 plus labs have been set up. These centers span over 250,000 square feet and more. I don't know the latest numbers. And till 2021, 213,000 students have been trained, certified, and all their details are available in the system. In 2021, so the contract was to build, operate, and transfer. Build, then operate for 2 years, handhold for 1 year, and then transfer this at the end to the government. All of the phase has been completed. In fact, it took more than 3 years, not thanks to COVID, the center was additionally run. Handover wasn't possible, and in 2021, these centers were handed over. 40 booklets for each of these centers with complete stock register, co-signed by Design Tech, who was the system implementation for the project, with APSSDC representing the state government, and with the center head, which is the principal of the college, have been signed and have been handed over to the government. At the end of the successful implementation of this project had received letter of commendation from APSSDC saying, great job done. And this is, I'm talking about 2021. On the same 2021, the letter of commendation has come from the managing director of APSSDC, not some officer. I was not in Siemens. This is my after knowledge. 2018, I left. I had no understanding of what was happening. On the same 2021, there's another side of APSSDC, which, for reasons unknown, and I would be very curious to know what was the internal trigger, that while the managing director is giving a letter of commendation based on successful handover and successful completion of this project, would somebody want to come and do an investigation which never ever did a single visit of any of these centers and did any single verification of this project and said this project is bogus, based on which an FIR was launched, and rest is history. You all know what has happened. This is a big mystery, because it's pretty much like, the analogy that I want to give is that, you are investigating how a murder was done, how a person has been killed, etc., when the person who is supposed to be murdered is actually standing out over there. The person is actually standing out over there, and you are investigating how he was murdered, where is the weapon, etc. It intrigues me. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a professional. But it intrigues me that without even first, there's an Aesop fable that if the crow says that your ear has been taken, the first thing that you should do is put your hand on the ear and see if your ear has been taken. Don't run after the crow. This is something we have learned in the schools. Why something as basic as this was not done before these charges were riled up to say that this project is a bogus project, sham project, and then allegations, wildest allegations I can't even imagine, have been filed upon me and other people, and rest is all up to you.